Group number 3, go ahead.
Hello, I represent the Utopia iLand, and we're going to have a socialistic government whose primary goal is to help lower the income gap, close the income gap, and to help society be better. We're going to have a republic system, so we're going to have a whole bunch of democratically elected representatives. We have 3 levels in our government. We have the head chief, which is at the top of our government, and is in charge of enforcing the laws. And then our island is going to be broken up into districts. And each of those districts is going to have a group of people that will elect a district chief to represent that district, and the district chiefs together collectively they form the council, which is a lawmaking body. And then at the bottom we have the citizens. The citizens are in charge of electing all those representatives, and they are also the ultimate judge within that district for what is right and what is not right. And all the actions of the government, whatever they do, is reported to the people, so government will be accountable. Government officials will be without pay, so there is no lobbying, so there's as few corruption as possible. And people become these democratic representatives based on community merit. And
so laws, everybody must follow the golden rule, which is to respect all human beings, all fellow beings. And the laws are democratically decided. And the district laws are decided within those districts by a 2/3 majority vote. And the Council of Chiefs creates the national laws by a majority vote, but they can be revised and altered by 2/3 consent of all the districts. And the voting age is 18.
We have government-supported childcare, but is optional. Parenting classes are also offered for free. There's mandatory preschool and kindergarten for children. Grades 1 to 12 is also mandatory. Our high schools have a 3-tier system from advanced, intermediate, and vocational. Our university admittance is guaranteed for all advanced students. Intermediate students will have to take an exam to get into the university, or they can apply for junior colleges. School year is year-long with seasonal 2-week breaks. It follows a European class schedule. We have a yearly test for students to promote to the next grade level, but we will hold students back that are not competent. And teachers must have a degree in teaching and in the subject that they're teaching.
The government will provide universal health care, and hospitals are run by the government and are staffed by professionals 24/7. Schools will have at least 1 licensed nurse, and preventive education will be offered free to children at school, which encourages kids to live a healthy lifestyle through exercising and eating well.
For housing, all our buildings are built up, multiple-story buildings. Housing complexes will be held in different resident areas, in which within those housing complexes they are government funded, so people won't pay to live there. They only pay for any extra stuff they want because major appliances will already be provided within the housing complex. Within all our buildings, roofs will have either housing gardens for eating purposes or solar panels for energy. The interiors of our buildings will be designed with wheat wood, and we'll try to limit the amount of steel we use. Inside all buildings, outside the buildings, they will have our rainwater catchers, which will feed into reservoirs, which later can be used for irrigation. And also within our buildings, we have radiant heating and fan ventilation for AC and double pane windows.
We have an electric magnetic train system that will run between all towns and cities. Fare will be required. No cars for private ownership. Everyone has to use bicycles, but cars can be rented from the government in special cases. We also have intercity electric buses, and the routes of all vehicles will be outfitted with solar panels, and they will run on electricity. Roads are also maintained by government.
so as you can see, we have a lot of green on our island, so that's the theme of our island. It's very green, it's very environmentally oriented. So all building materials used must be environmentally friendly unless there's no alternative. And the sources of we derive our sources of energy from a geothermal from under the volcano. We also have a waterfall, so we can get hydroelectricity from that. And we also have on the rooftops and in designated areas, we also have solar panels to get our energy. And if need be, we also have ethanol reserves that we can switch to. And a lot of the trash cans will be accompanied by appropriate recycling canisters, so there will be plastic recycling, paper recycling, next to trash cans that you see in the street. In our island, we're going to ban the usage of plastic bag, styrofoam, fossil fuel burning, plastic water bottles, stuff like that, because they harm the environment and they're not good. And our government is going to spend a lot of money, a good sized amount of money into investing into research and development for green technology, just so that technology we have now won't be obsolete and we can continually and perpetually protect the environment on our island. And farmers and all students, when they are growing up, they have to take a class during school about environmental conservationism, so they understand the importance of protecting the environment, and so they won't do it themselves. Our cement and asphalt and our walls on our buildings are going to be a light color too, so they reflect as much light as possible and not absorb heat. And we have farms. They're going to be vegetable and fruit heavy, but they're not going to have very many livestock as they hurt the environment.
So we're offering a month's worth of paid leave per year, so that includes sick leave. And we're also offering 1 year of maternity leave at half pay for mothers and fathers. And we're also providing for government-funded gym facilities that are open to the public and parks and recreational areas that are also government-funded so that citizens can exercise when they need to. We also have national parks that double as conservation sites and as tourism sites. And we also have national and local sports organizations for competitions or recreation.
Senior citizens have the option of living under the care of licensed nurses or at home, and they can apply to have a social worker who is a government-trained volunteer to accompany them. And the retirement age is 70, but they can still work if they want to.
For community service, mandatory community service starts from middle school, and from middle school 6th grade on, you need a yearly hour requirement to be filled. And then after your education ends, your highest level of education, every 5 years after that, you need an hour of requirement to be filled. It is your choice to do what kind of community service you want to do, and government training will be provided if needed. For public safety and military, we have a Coast Guard and militia. Within those, all 18 to 25-year-olds must complete a 4 months training to be either in the Coast Guard or militia. After 4 months, they can choose to stay or return to society and be on standby. And then all returning soldiers must return 1 week per season to keep in shape. And they are relieved of duty at the age of 45. Our Utopia is neutral, but if needed to defend ourselves, we will. Police departments are funded by the government, and they use electric motorcycles to make sure national and local laws are carried out throughout the whole Utopia. Instead of jail, we have a rehabilitation place in which either they can fulfill more hours for community service, be on house arrest, or do more labor.
All plumbing and sewage needs will be sent to a treatment plant. All orphans will be taken care of by government or under the care of foster parents. All married couples applying for marriage will have to take parenting classes, and same-sex marriage is okay. Abortion is the choice of a woman as long as the reason is legitimate and it will be judged by the community. Drugs are legalized, but we have heavy education K through 12 about problems with drugs.
So as we mentioned before, we have a socialist economy, and our currency is in dollars since most of our trade is going to be with America. We have our sources of revenue as ecotourism, banking industry, fishing industry, taxes on income, sales and business, and trading in green technology. So we're going to have heavy government support in private firms for research and development in green technology. And we're placing these heavy investments in order to become pioneers of green technology. Tourism, we have our own cruise line that shuttles between the island and America. And we have one main port for tourists, and we also have hotels in our main city. Taxes. We have a 75 to 80% income tax with a 5 to 10% sales tax. And this tax rate fluctuates depending on projections for spending and intake. And we also have a protective tariff that will protect home industries, and it will also be used as revenue. We have a small tax for businesses to promote growth, and we also have a child tax to limit family size and population growth. But the first 2 children you have is free. Old retired people will pay little tax. Our Utopia will have 3 classes, upper, middle, and lower, and there's going to be a minimum wage that's proportional to living standards, but there is no maximum wage. Our workday is 8 hours, and it's 5 days a week. Overtime is allowed with rates set by the employer, but it can't be prohibited. Unions, it can't be prohibited. Unions are okay, but they represent the workers in conflicts. And we have no child labor. Employment age is 18 and above. Jobs that endanger the employees are not allowed unless there is protective gear or the workers receive the proper training. All employees must have mandatory breaks, and we have working conditions agencies installed by the government to protect workers.